back, Lumberjacks fans, once again to another rendition of Coach's Corner. Of course, brought to you by Joe Clemence, Keller Williams, Integrity Northwest. I am your host, Paul Vold, joined alongside Granite City Lumberjacks head coach DJ Vold. And coach, another big weekend sweep for the squad as well. Not only getting that 15-1 win against the Minnesota Loons, but a big pivotal win on the road against Alexandria. Of course, we'll talk about that coming up here as well. But starting off that game against Friday as well against the Loons as well, you know, a 15-1 decisive victory for the squad too. It was probably good to see the team kind of break out of its shell a little bit and get the scoring early and often.
Yeah, I mean it's something we've been waiting for our group to do. Did we know it'd be that many? No, but it's also a good night to get some guys, get the monkeys off their back and get some guys feeling good about their game, so we can't be too upset.
Yeah, you have to look at, of course, we've talked about it pretty much all season too, with a multitude of scoring diversity throughout the four lines as well. I mean, you can talk about, obviously we talked last week with Coach Moser about, you know, four lines, but he's looking at it, and you two as 1A through D basically. Each of those, you know, line combinations could be a top line, and to see that all through the score sheet as well has to be a nice, at least at this point of the season for the team too.
Yeah, I mean, it's the easiest way for us to be successful is to have good depth and for our depth to contribute. I think every guy but one had a point in that game, so yeah, all in all, it was a good night.
Yeah, you look at too, of course, throughout the production of the season, special teams has been a bit of a good note as the improvement has come along throughout the year too, and you know, obviously being able to capitalize in any situation. But unfortunately, the one goal that you did give up was that shorthanded goal, just an unfortunate bounce in that one too.
Yeah, I mean, you give up a breakaway. Anybody can score breakaways. It was a scenario where we probably should have scored right before it and didn't, and the puck stays live and ends up on their stick. So we weren't perfect by any means, but pretty close to it.
Yeah, you look at how that game came out as well, 15-1. Then you carry that momentum, road contest, and a very lively, spirited affair on Saturday against Alexandria, a 4-2 victory for your squad too. I mean, it was back and forth from the opening puck drop in that contest.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Alex. The place was packed. There wasn't an open seat in the place, and yeah, it was a hard-fought game. I mean, every game we play against them is a war. It's us, them, and Alex them and Rochester at the top, so we can't really take them lightly ever, and if we do, we're going to get hit in the mouth. So pretty happy with our effort.
Yeah, of course, usually we've seen those contests be very tight, hard-fought contests, physical game as well, kind of really ramped up too. But, you know, just because with Alexandria kind of coming in with that physical effort on their end too, I mean, they're not afraid to throw the body around, and obviously they can score as well. I mean, the team did seem to respond there after the first few minutes of that first period.
Yeah, it's something we've been working with our group all year is competing and really doing what it takes to win one-on-one battles and to ultimately win games. We want our guys to do whatever it may take, whether it's blocking shots, taking hits, giving hits. A lot of the stuff that isn't fun or people don't want to do, we want all of our guys to be willing to do.
Looking at that contest as well, and we've seen it with every matchup against Rochester and of course Alexandria too, how it really plays out with special teams too, obviously shorthanded and on the power play. Each team's got an opportunity to make an impact as well, and it ultimately came down to, you know, obviously the leading goal of the game winner at the end of it ended up coming on the power play for your team.
Yeah, I mean, getting to this time of year and into playoffs, it gets more and more important to be sharp on special teams, whether it's killing penalties or getting the momentum back on the power play. It's good to see us in a pretty good spot right now when it comes to special teams, but I still think we can be a little bit better, so it's something we'll continue to work on.
Now you take that, of course, with a huge road victory. Rochester drops a game on Saturday as well, within striking distance, keeping things well within striking distance. You know, 4 points behind in that division lead right now behind Rochester. Of course, Alexandria is still nipping on the team's heels too. Even with this weekend series you got coming up, you're going to be going out of division as we go with now getting close to single-digit games left in the regular season. Each game from here on out is more and more important.
Yeah, every 2 points is important, and we wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, from here on out, we're playing playoff hockey. Essentially, in our division, our playoffs start a month early just because obviously we want to win the division and end up on top and have home ice advantage. And with the out-of-division series coming up. We're playing the #1 team in the Central Division, so it doesn't get any easier when it comes to out-of-division games for us.
Yeah, and talking about, of course, that matchup, you got the West Bend Power coming to Miller Buick GMC Arena this weekend as well. You faced them very early in the season. A lot has changed in that time frame as well. Still at the time that you played them out in the Wisconsin area, Milwaukee area, trying to find out the right combination of kids, who's going to fit well where, and obviously the scoring was not as where it was to this point of the season. What do you take back from that early goings against West Bend? Of course, they're leading in the Central Division right now. Now you're at a different point of the season with the team too here. How do you feel with that first kind of matchup against West Bend that kind of maybe helped out the team here now coming into this weekend matchup?
Yeah, it's a weekend we've had circled since we played them. We've been looking forward to it, and I mean, the first weekend we played against them was early in the year. Struggled to get the puck to go in, but there were two really tight games, and frankly, we played pretty well in both games. We dropped both of them, though. So we're hoping to put a complete effort together here this weekend and kind of show them what we're really about.
And that'll be a couple of 7:30 starts here from Miller Buick GMC Arena. Granite City Lumberjacks take on the West Bend Power here coming up this weekend as well. Of course, with Coach's Corner, brought to you by Joe Clemence, Keller Williams, Integrity Northwest. Paul Vold joined alongside with head coach for your Granite City Lumberjacks, DJ Vold. Stick around here after a break. We'll be speaking with one of our players here after this quick little break. Welcome back, Lumberjacks fans, once again to Coach's Corner, brought to you by Joe Clemence, Keller Williams, Integrity Northwest. Of course, I'm your host, Paul Vold, as we are joined with the reigning NA3HL West Division Star of the Week. It's number 34, Ashton Ericksen, joins us here this week. And Ash, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate the time here. Of course, a big weekend sweep for the team. 15-1, a win against the Loons on Friday. Then you carried that momentum. A 4-2 win in a decisive West Division matchup against Alexandria. Of course, starting off the game against the Loons, there are 15 goals for the squad, too. You know, we've been kind of waiting for the team to kind of come out of their shell there a little bit here throughout the season and just kind of blow the doors open. 15 goals, I'm sure the team had to be feeling pretty good against the Loons there with that many goals from that night.
Definitely. It was, it's always good to get the high-scoring matchups in and, you know, gives your team a little bit of a break and kind of regroup, get some different guys in different roles, and, you know, definitely fun to put up a couple on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah,
so.
You end up with 6 points. Of course, that gets you the Division Star of the Week for the Western Division 2. Linemate as well, Eden Cho, he puts up 5 points in that one too. And I believe Giram as well, he had the natural hat trick at that point. I'm sure that line was feeling pretty high on themselves there after that contest too.
Totally. We were happy with how we all played together, and, you know, everything seemed like it was just clicking, and it's just good to get in the flow of things. You know, it's hard when you're putting up 15-1, and it's important to just worry about the little things and, you know, keep doing what you can, but when it's clicking on all cylinders, it's definitely good times.
Yeah, of course, with that momentum you've carried throughout the whole season now coming into, of course, that win on Friday, you carry that into a game against Alexandria Blizzard. Their barn as well. Raucous crowd, to say the least. Really good contingent. A big thank you again to all the Granite City fans that made it out to Alexandria on Saturday. You carry that. Of course, it's always a tough matchup against Alex, no matter where they play, no matter where we play against them, too. It's going to be a tough physical matchup. Going into that one with it being kind of back and forth in that first period, how'd the team kind of really feel to kind of get settled into that contest?
Just the first 5 minutes are huge. You want to come out flying and get the feet going and maybe hit a couple bodies just to kind of get your mind into it. But we knew that was going to be a big crowd, and for me, that's exciting. I was excited to hear that and especially see it when we get there. But it's just important for the first 5 minutes and moving forward to, you know, keep your feet moving, do simple things, and then you can kind of let your game take over the rest of the night. So.
Talk about, of course, with the, you know, you don't want to give another team an opportunity, especially with Alexandria, to on special teams. We've seen it throughout the season too, how both teams have had a knack for, whether on the power play, even shorthanded as well. Decisive moment in the contest as well. They get a goal shorthanded too. I'm sure that was a little bit of a gut punch for the team too, but how did the team really react to rally back from that and ultimately push forward in that one?
Yeah, you just go back to the simple things. Like I said, you just worry about, getting pucks deep. You can't get flustered because then you start to fall behind a little bit. And just got to rely on what you know how to do. And playing bodies and making simple plays. Just like it's cliche, but get pucks deep. It's just what you got to do, and you just go to work.
Of course, with it being a 4-2 victory, a pivotal win in the standings too. We've talked with the coaches, a couple players last couple of weeks, and we feel now at this point of the season, with it being, we're looking at 10, 12 games left. Playoffs have already started here, of course, with the Western Division, that one being a pivotal win against Alexandria too.
Yeah, it's huge. You want to create some separation in the standings, and there's a rough schedule coming up, and it's going to be a lot of good games here in the last month of the season, and every win counts. So.
Yeah, we look forward to, of course, more matchups in the Western Division. But, of course, we go out of division here this weekend as well. Rematch against the West Bend Power. They're leading in the Central Division. Of course, you faced them earlier this year, fairly early in the year, still trying to figure out, of course, the right combination of guys in the lineup, too. Looking back, of course, from earlier in the season, it was a couple of losses for the team. But how do you feel that those couple losses might have benefited the squad here up till this point now of the season?
We start to feel what it feels like to lose, and it's not a good feeling whatsoever. So I think it sucks, but it's definitely good to go through that, especially early, to get that out of the way, and for when it's crunch time about now, and you can kind of start rolling, and you don't like the feeling of losing, so you do everything you can, and it's playoff hockey now, so wins matter.
And we certainly do look forward to, of course, West Bend Power. Come to the Miller Buick at GMC Arena, 7:30 Friday and Saturday. Of course, this weekend against your Granite City Lumberjacks. Of course, we will keep you up to date with everything going on with the Lumberjacks, na3hl.com. Be sure to check us out on all our social media platforms. But, of course, here with our players interview number 34 with Ashton Ericksen, we got to get to our rapid fire questions. And we actually did a little bit of crowdsourcing this week for some of our rapid fire questions. We're going to start off with the usual kind of questions. What is the go-to pregame routine, either before you come to the rink, you're at the rink, or just before you get on the ice?
When I get to the rink, I kind of just get it changed into my gitch and my warm-up clothes, and then I'll tape my stick and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, have some snacks and some Gatorade, and and then a lot of the guys play sewer before the game, and I don't. I sit there and watch or stretch or something. But then once we get into the on-ice warm-ups, I just kind of go. At the beginning, I just stick in on the corner, kind of warm myself up, and do some random things, just kind of get the feet and hands going. So,
talked, of course, with a couple of pregame snacks. But what's kind of the pregame meal before you get here to the rink?
Ooh, I don't like anything heavy, so it's never usually anything big. I have been just making a few eggs here and there, but nothing huge. I mean, nothing specific at all, that's for sure. Just light food.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to keep it light, keep the legs fresh in many ways. Do you prefer the red or the white sweaters with Granite City?
Ooh, I like the red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot more red as of late, and I certainly do appreciate that too. What is the favorite away rink that you played here with Granite City?
Alexandria.
Of course. Got to love the atmosphere in that. Getting to more of our crowdsourcing questions here this week. Favorite sports movie?
Movie? Ooh, I think you can't go wrong with Miracle, but I also like The Blind Side.
Ooh, that one has a different feeling nowadays with The Blind Side, but that's neither here nor there. No. What was one teammate you do not want to get stuck in a car with on a long road trip?
Nolan Widman.
Pretty self-explanatory, I would imagine there.
Yeah, he'll know.
Okay, who on the team has the worst car?
Worst car? Ooh, I think everyone has a decent ride. I don't really think anyone has a bad car, but if you have to say worse, I mean, Luco's broke down at the beginning of the year, so I guess I could just say his, but
there you go.
Everybody has a good car. So.
All right. And this one might get a little personal, but we're going to put it out there. Who's the one teammate on the team that says he's got game with the girls?
Comstock.
Comstock?
Yep.
That one seems pretty
goes around the room.
Yep, that one seems pretty self-explanatory in many ways.
Yep.
And another question: Favorite drill in practice that you know of?
Favorite flow drills, definitely Vegas. That one you're always moving, so that one's fun.
Okay.
And my favorite drill, I like the 3-on-2 continuous with the regroup.
Okay. Final question here with our rapid fire. Who's the worst smelling player on the team?
Giram.
Giram.
Yeah.
I love it. Ashton Ericksen here, number 34 for your Granite City Lumberjacks, joins us here this week on Coach's Corner. He is your reigning West Division Star of the Week in the NA 3HL. Of course, be sure to stick around for more with Coach's Corner each and every week here during the season with the Granite City Lumberjacks. I am Paul Vold, and we'll talk to you next week with Coach's Corner.